Hey everybody, it's Becky with RIDGID, and we are here in Elyria, Ohio, and we're going to go over some of our pipe fab tools today. We have two of our product managers here, Kelsey and Larry, as well as John with our Schoolhouse Training Center. If you have questions, ask them in the chat, or there's a question icon on the bottom. Click that, ask the question, and we'll address those at the end. Two lucky winners will win this RIDGID Carhartt backpack. We encourage you to ask questions and interact with us during today's JobSite Live. We will DM you after JobSite Live if you are a winner. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with Larry. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Larry Pisconich. I'm the Senior Product Manager for the threading and pipe fabrication products. I've been with the company nearly 14 years, so I've had a lot of service. I want to go over a couple products. One of them is the 975 roll groover we'll talk about right now. It's a nice little roll groover. We call it our combination groover because it can be used both in a 300 power drive or up in the ceiling or on the ground on a fixed piece of pipe. So it's a great little unit. We're going to show it how it runs on the 300 power drive, and then we'll mount it up on the fixed piece of pipe. So got a lot of nice features on it. On top we have the depth setting gauge, which is one of the most nicest features out there. So we're going to be using a 2.5-inch piece of Schedule 40. So up on the top of the gauge up here, there's settings for the different size pipe up to 6 inches. So we're going to set it on the 2.5 to 4-inch Schedule 40 piece of pipe. So we'll run the adjusting screw down to that surface, set it there. We're going to back it off just a little bit and turn it to our roll grooving position. But that's how you set that. Then it has an auto tracking feature on it. And then, like always, you're going to want to run the machine in reverse. So let's get this set up. Let's load our piece of pipe. We're going to hand tighten. And then we'll go back and we'll set this to the 4-inch Schedule 40 piece of pipe. All right, so now we should be fixed in the pipe. Got the roll groover mounted. Flip it into reverse, and we'll get ready to go. So as this rotates, you want to kind of give it about 2 turns and then crank it down, and eventually it's going to hit the bottom of the feed screw. When it hits that bottom, your groove should be very close, if not perfect. Back the feed screw off. See, we've got a nice groove.
We'd want to measure that now, right?
Yes.
If it was during install.
You want to, your first one, you want to make sure it's set right and that your depth setting gauge is giving you the true reading due to inconsistencies in the pipe. One of the things I forgot to mention, you notice I'm properly equipped with my personal protective gear. You want to make sure you're doing that with any of these products. So we're going to take this unit off of here and show you how it mounts to the fixed piece of pipe, unchucks, and then we have the bars. Then unscrew from the unit. And if you flip it around and you face the drive shaft outward, it mounts up the same. And you want to bring it down with your feed screw. Clamp it in place, and in this case, we've got a Schedule 40 piece of 2.5 inch here. So we're going to find our adjustment. Again, it's the same one, 2.5. See it up on the top. Set it down. Back it off just a bit. Put it back into place. And then this one's a manual operation, so you got to have the extension. And you'll start working the unit around as such. I'm not going to do a complete groove because it's just kind of repetitive from where we had. So that kind of sums up the 975 roll groover. I'm going to turn it over to John. He's going to talk about our little lunchbox, the unit we call a lunchbox groover, the 915.
Hi, I'm John with RIDGID. I've been with RIDGID for 18 years. I'm a product training specialist. I work at the schoolhouse. Maybe some of you had visited there or not. But today I'm going to be talking about the 915 roll groover. This is an in-air or in-place roll groover. It is specifically designed to be used by hand. There is no using of any power tools to power this. A lot of people think because it's a 1/2 inch drive, they want to put an impact on it. That will destroy your groover. You do not want to do that. On the 915, you have a series of roll sets. You have drive rolls and groove rolls. You can change those out depending on what particular sizes of pipe and schedule of pipe. This groover can do up to from 1.25 to 12 inch, schedule 10, steel and stainless steel, and it can do up to 6 inch, schedule 40 steel pipe. The way that you use this, you would open that up. This reaction arm is how you would actually tighten down and drive that groove roll into the edge of the pipe to create your groove. So what you would do first is you slide the drive roll into the pipe itself. Slides on, make sure that the groover is flush. You're going to tighten it down by hand. So first you get it hand tight. And if you wanted to come over here, you can see there is a depth adjustment screw on the side here. Okay, once it's hand tight, you're going to tighten that down until it touches on the pivot pin. Okay, and then based on the size and schedule of pipe you have, that's going to determine how many turns you turn that back. Okay, so for 4 inch schedule 10, we're going to go back 4 5/8 of a turn. You can see there's a white hash mark on that bolt. So we're going to back that up 1, 2, 3, 4, and about 5/8 of a turn. So now we're actually ready to drive that groove, the groove roll down into it. Get this going the right direction. You're going to put about 1/2 or 3/4 of a turn initially to drive it. Then you remove that ratchet. You put it into the front drive pinion gear. That goes in, and you're going to turn it to the right, and your groover is going to roll around to the left. When you come back around, that's when you're going to tighten the groove roll reaction arm down. And you're going to run that all the way until that bolt touches that pin on it. So we would come back in, give it another good 1/2 turn, and then we would come back and run that around all the way until that touches that pivot pin. We do have diameter tapes or pie tapes that you can use to measure your groove, and it is actually cut out with the 0 line on it so you can get a more accurate groove on it. You want to be within the proper tolerances based on the pipe size, and that is the 915 roll groover. It would take too long to run it all the way.
All right. Failed to mention the capacity of the 975 roll groover. It goes from, it's kind of on the top here, but it goes from up to 6 inches, starting at 1.25 inch, schedule 40 pipe. So I want to talk about our next product, which is our 460 TRISTANDs. We have 2 in this line. Our first one goes up to 6 inches. It's got the smaller jaw and smaller amount of chain. Has a bunch of nice features. It's got a bunch of tool holders on the top. One of the nice features is from previous models, we moved the benders to the back. This is used in electrical space to bend a little bit of conduit, to adjust conduit. So those are moved now under the workpiece, so that when they're not in use, they're hiding out of the way. That allowed us to have a little bit of storage bins on the back. It's got a jack screw on it, should you get additional stability by mounting it up into the ceiling by putting a piece of pipe here and mounting it straight up. The lockable tray is an over-center tray that secures the legs and pushes those out. Up underneath, it's got a real nice feature for anybody that's doing some welding. If you got your pipe mounted in here, or the ground lug goes all the way through and it'll ground into your piece of pipe. On the back, should the stiffness get a little bit loose, you can adjust the stiffness by adjusting on the rear leg. It has a very strong rear chain to secure the legs. And as I mentioned, it has a 12-inch version that's over on the other side that we'll go over a few of those features here. So it has all the same features as you find in the 466, but it's a 460-12. Obviously, it's got a much bigger jaw and a much longer chain to handle up to 12-inch pipe. It has an adjustment screw moved out to give you clearance around the 12-inch pipe. And it also has a rear adjusting leg to allow you some pitch adjustment by a simple twist of the handle. So that's just some of the unique features that we have with our 460 series vices. So I'm going to turn it over to Kelsey, and she's going to talk a bit about another product we have, which are PTC-400.
Hi, I'm Kelsey David. I'm the product management specialist for our wrenches, tubing tools, and our wet dry vacs, and I'm going to walk us through our newest power tubing cutter, the PTC-400. Now this was designed to be a portable tubing cutter. It is compact and it only weighs 32 pounds, and on the back here we have a carrying handle and a cord wrap so that you can carry it to and from the job site easily. Now what can this cut? It can cut 1/2 inch to 4 inch nominal diameter, and depending on what cutter wheel you have in there, it'll cut stainless steel, carbon steel, or aluminum, or copper and plastic. So right now we have it set so that we can cut 2 inches, but over on the side there's this quick turn that allows you to adjust it so that it can cut up to 4 inches. We're going to be cutting under 2, so we're going to go back down. It also acts like our quick acting tubing cutters. The arm right here is, you just push it down to adjust it and spring load it back up, and you use the quick turn knob once you're down to make the cut. It also comes with this tube stand, which is adjustable in height, and these roller balls also adjust. One thing you have to make sure when you are cutting tube is to have it on the right setting. Up front on the dial here, there's low and high. Low is going to be for your tube that is 2 inches and under or longer than 6.5 foot, or high is going to be greater than 2 inches or shorter than 6.5 foot. And then in order to operate it, we have this foot bulb. When you push down on it, the rollers will begin spinning, and when you lift up, it'll slow down and stop. So we're going to go ahead and engage. We're going to get our foot bulb over. We're going to push down, and then we're going to begin spinning the handle. Then we're going to release some of the tension, and then we have a clean cut. This model also comes with a spare cutter wheel in the back, right here. Alright, we're going to do one more to show you how easy that was. Tension off. There you go. And and that's our PTC-400. Becky, did you have any questions?
Yeah, we do have a few questions. So the first question is, what materials can you roll groove? John, can you answer that one?
Sure. You can roll groove up a steel pipe, both Schedule 40 and Schedule 10. They're usually going to have different capacities unless you're running the 975. Then it's up to 6-inch Schedule 10 and Schedule 40. For your 915 model, it's going to be up to 12-inch steel pipe, Schedule 10, 6-inch Schedule 40. You can also purchase roll sets to be able to roll groove copper as well. And it can be used with the original roll sets to roll groove plastic pipe as well. Did I leave any out, Larry?
For the 975, you can also do copper with that one with a change out of roll sets.
Yep.
All right, for the 400, Eric's asking, does it have a reamer on the wheel?
Not on the wheel, right?
The stainless steel version comes with an optional reamer. It would be attached right here, and you can place it in the side, and it's the foot pedal activated.
That's for steel and stainless steel.
Yes.
And that was actually one of the next questions. Can you cut anything other than copper with the PTC-400?
With the current cutter wheel, you can cut copper or plastic. There is another cutter wheel that can be used to cut stainless steel, carbon steel, and aluminum.
Okay, and what is the warranty on the PTC-400?
Same warranty,
Same
as
warranty, it's
original.
limited lifetime warranty.
Against material defects and craftsmanship. Normal wear and tear, misuse and abuse are not covered under that warranty.
Okay, and it looks like we have one more question. Let me see here. Somebody's asking the price. What is the MSRP on the PTC-400?
Ballpark.
1200.
We could follow up in direct messages. That's fine. And then it looks like the last question, John, if you want to take this, it says, what does the pipe stabilizer on the 460 TRISTAND do?
Well, Larry mentioned it briefly. If you need to secure that stand down because you're cutting or threading or doing something else with it, you can get a piece of 1-inch steel pipe and run it to the pipe jack or pipe stabilizer. You could run that up to the top of an I-beam or on top of a ceiling, put a piece of board up there, and then you can tighten that T-handle, and that pushes and centers the gravity of that tri-stand and helps to keep it from moving or sliding or flipping over on you. Good question.
I think that's all we have for questions. So Kelsey's going to wrap it up.
Thank you for tuning in to our JobSite Live. If you have any more questions, you can reach out to your territory manager or visit RIDGID.com.